What's up, y'all? Welcome to Gratified Grad, where it's my goal to help you graduate with gratification. In today's video, we're going to talk about your team. So, who are those people or that group of people that you need to have around you so that you can succeed and thrive as a graduate student? Without further ado, let's get into it. So, y'all know we go by the acronym PIC if is. And if you do not know what that is, well, here's your chance to learn. The P stands for physical wellness. And so it would be to your advantage to have a personal trainer. Now, I know personal trainers can be a little bit expensive. So, if you can't afford to get a personal trainer, at least go to a fitness class and have access to a fitness instructor. Typically, if you're at a university, gym membership can be included as a part of your graduate assistantship depending on the institution. For example, Penn State at one point in time did not include gym membership for graduate students. The students complained enough about it and they decided to include the gym membership. So, even if you can't afford to get a personal trainer, at least check out your gym and see what fitness classes they offer. And here's the bonus perk, right? These fitness instructors have training to support whatever class they're teaching. So if you have specific questions, you can just ask a quick question at the end of the practice or the class, and they have the expertise to answer that question. The I stands for intellectual wellness. And so that means have someone that you have conversations with, right? You have those hard conversations with, you have those interesting conversations with. This can be a peer, this can be a mentor, this can be a discussion group forum that maybe you're a part of online, right? You just want to feed that intellectual wellness in that you're having these broader, more worldly conversations. Worldly, and I will also say local, right? Keep in touch with what's going on and have those conversations so that you can grow. And this is outside of the work that you currently do, right? So I'm not saying go find someone to talk to about your research. No, we're using this time to develop and enrich our lives in other ways. The C stands for career wellness. I think this is probably the easiest one, maybe the second to easiest one, and that's your research advisor. You want to have a good research advisor, a good for you research advisor in your corner. This is the person who you can talk to about your scientific interests, what you think as you're developing your project and your work. You want to be able to trust them and feel comfortable enough with them to voice the crazy ideas that you have so that you can grow in your field of profession. The second I stands for interpersonal wellness, and this is your relationship with others. So, kind of similar to the intellectual wellness, where you're engaging with another person, or maybe you're also, I didn't say this before, but intellectual wellness can also be fulfilled through YouTube channels, right? Hearing the ideas and thoughts of others in more of a philosophical standpoint, whatever that expands your thought and your perspective. But getting back to the interpersonal wellness, so this actually requires you to engage with other people. You can do this virtually or you can do this in person, but ideally you're doing this in real time, right? So not back and forth days and months. While that is a form of interpersonal relationship and wellness, I am much more focusing here on the in person aspect and the in person interactions that happen. And so this can look like a club or an organization. This can look like a walking group, right? So any activity or opportunity where you can engage with other individuals in person or virtually, but in a real conversational setting. The F stands for financial wellness. And I would say this is another easy one in that you can have a financial advisor. Now, once again, when you leave the college setting, also depending on the institution that you're at, having a personal finance coach or advisor is really expensive, right? It can be between $300 to $600 depending on who the person is and the type of session. Once again, another example of Penn State, they actually offer free sessions with financial coaches. And so if you're a Penn State student, take advantage of that. They might have similar things at other institutions. Sometimes you just have to check into this and see what is offered. Another opportunity, if you don't have access to a personal coach and you don't have the funds to pay for one, is find one on YouTube. Find one online. And actually, with the algorithm of things, I often get news alerts from Yahoo Finance. And through this, I've learned a lot just because people pose their questions and then someone on the Yahoo Finance side of things will respond and answer. Right? So there's multiple ways to get a financial coach. And while if you don't have your own personal coach, you're not getting that exact one-on-one or that exact direct feedback, you can still find people and information in similar situations. The other alternative is that you can go to a banker, right? Depending on what type of requests that you have, you can go to your local bank, whoever you bank with, and ask the banker questions about various accounts and interest rates and CDs and things like that, and they may also be able to help you. The third I stands for intrapersonal wellness. So, how is this relationship with yourself? I always am an advocate for therapy and counseling. So that's going to be my go to tool or person to have on your team. Now, if you cannot afford to go to therapy because therapists are also expensive, you can use, once again, YouTube, the online platform. In this case, for your intrapersonal wellness, I do not recommend going to your friends or your social group. Now, while you can have venting sessions and, think things through with them, there is a value in knowing the terminology, knowing that someone who is trained to listen to your thoughts and help you figure out what is the origin of that thought. Those are important skills that not everyone has. And we've all had that conversation or that experience where we are complaining or venting, and then after talking to that friend, we feel worse, right? So, in the case of having a professional help, that's really valuable and supportive to have them on your team. I would also say books in this avenue. Now, while I'm starting to get away from this idea of self help books and, like, how do I fix myself? Books are still very valuable in showing you or bringing to your awareness the resources and the terminology and what's out there today. And the S stands for spiritual wellness, and this one is it is dependent upon the person, right? So if you have specific religious beliefs that take you to a certain place, meaning like a mosque or a church or a meeting house, right? So this is your group, your spiritual people, and these are the people who you want to have in your circle. Now, if you don't have the ability to go to a physical church, once again, YouTube is a valuable resource. There are plenty of recorded spiritual leaders and people who share their spiritual journey and beliefs and things like that. I would just say, on this spiritual side of things, you define for yourself what that means for you, and then you seek others who can support you on that journey. It's very easy to just take in a lot of information and hear a lot of noise. And then that makes it harder for you to figure out what are your needs and what can best support you. Okay, so to recap on the 7 people or the 7 groups that you want to have in your circle as a graduate student, starting with the physical wellness, you want to have a personal coach. And I'll also throw in, if not a personal coach, at least have a doctor, right? Go to have your routine checkups and things. In terms of your intellectual wellness, have someone outside of your field that you can have deeper and more challenging or conversations that stretch you, your research advisor for your career wellness, a social org for your intrapersonal wellness. You want to have a finance coach for your financial wellness, a therapist for your intrapersonal wellness, and some sort of spiritual guide, whether that's a mosque leader, a pastor, for your spiritual wellness. Hopefully, this is another set of tools that you can add to your toolbox so that you can graduate with gratification. See ya.